Imagine this for a moment. While most people only glance at their bank balance or check whether a stock price went up or down today, there is an elite group of investors who see far beyond the obvious. They are not at the mercy of market tides, nor do they rely on luck or a sudden gut feeling. Instead, they build a powerful radar of information, a true financial control panel, where every number, every trend, and every indicator works like a chess piece on a global board. This is not some mystical privilege reserved only for the ultra-wealthy. It is something they've learned to master, the monitoring of financial performance indicators. For them, these indicators are like lighthouses in the night, revealing hidden risks, unseen opportunities, and even predicting crises that blindside millions of people. The difference is mindset. While many react too late, they are already prepared to act. Ask yourself, do you want to see the market like the crowd does? Or would you rather see it the way the wealthy already do? Now think about how the game works for those who truly dominate the field. They follow metrics that most people don't even know exist. Not just company profits or debt, but operating margins, cash flow cycles, leverage levels, current liquidity, and even global consumer confidence indexes. Every single one of these numbers tells a story, and the ultra-wealthy know how to read that story as if it were a treasure map. For example, when a simple interest rate hike scares the general public, they are already prepared because they tracked the financial performance of heavily indebted companies weeks earlier, noticing that this shift would create a wave of opportunities to buy assets at discounted prices. They live in a state of strategic awareness, where indicators act like early warning signs of storms, or like glowing beacons that a new cycle of growth is about to begin. It is this discipline of monitoring that separates those who build fortunes from those who lose everything in just a matter of months. And here is the crucial detail. This way of seeing the market doesn't depend on luck or supernatural gifts. It depends on practice, focus, and the construction of an investor's mindset that values concrete data over fleeting opinions. The ultra-rich build entire ecosystems of information, dashboards, personalized reports, entire teams dedicated to analyzing metrics in real time. But don't be mistaken. You too can start developing this strategic vision, even without an army of analysts. The secret is knowing which indicators to watch, understanding the logic behind them, and most importantly, acting on the information before the majority even notices what's happening. And it is precisely this kind of mindset that separates the investor who merely survives chaos from the one who thrives in it. If you've ever felt like you are always one step behind the market, maybe it's because you haven't yet learned how to transform numbers into powerful decisions. And before we go further, let me invite you to hit that subscribe button to Investor School. This one small step ensures you'll receive content that can completely transform how you see investing. Every single lesson here is designed to expand your vision and provide you with the practical tools that the world's greatest investors already use. Now imagine what it would be like to live in a world where you don't just react to the news, you anticipate it. Where you no longer depend on investment gurus, sensationalist headlines, or the luck of being in the right place at the right time. By mastering the monitoring of financial performance indicators, you begin to recognize patterns invisible to most, and that places you in a privileged position of competitive advantage. It is as if you've gained access to a secret language that the market speaks all the time, but almost no one bothers to learn. The ultra-rich already know. Those who master indicators master the game. And from now on, you will begin to understand that what seems like magic or brilliant intuition is nothing more than discipline and attention to the right signals. The financial market is not a casino. It is a gigantic network of information, and those who can decode that information build lasting wealth. The real question you must answer is, do you want to keep playing blind? Or are you finally ready to open your eyes and step into the board with awareness and strategy? When we talk about financial performance indicators, we are not referring to random numbers floating around on a spreadsheet. We are talking about strategic instruments that act like sensors of reality. The ultra-rich understand that every indicator is like a heartbeat of the market, and together they form a complete electrocardiogram of the economy. Think, for example, about return on equity, ROE, which shows how efficiently a company generates profits from its shareholders' capital. For most, it's just another technical acronym. But for those who know how to interpret it, it reveals whether a company has a powerful financial engine, or whether it's about to stall. Another example is the debt-to-equity ratio. The wealthy don't just look at it as a measure of risk, but as a way to anticipate opportunities in times of credit contraction. The average person sees debt as a weakness, while the sophisticated investor understands that, in certain contexts, it is a strategic lever that can multiply returns. This difference in interpretation creates an almost invisible frontier between those who merely survive and those who prosper in uncertain times. But the ultra-wealthy don't limit themselves to company-level indicators. They expand their vision to macroeconomic metrics that reveal the global pulse. They track consumer confidence indexes, yield curves, projected inflation data, employment reports, and even fluctuations in the prices of strategic commodities such as oil and wheat. Each of these elements is treated as a piece of a larger puzzle that, once assembled, provides an early glimpse of where capital flows are headed. When the average investor finds out too late that inflation is eroding their portfolio, the ultra-rich have already repositioned weeks earlier, placing themselves in assets that benefit precisely from that environment. For them, there are no surprises, only preparation. There is no panic, only strategy. They don't chase the market. They design alternate routes that take them ahead of the crowd. And it is exactly this game of early reading that turns crises into golden opportunities for those who can see beyond the surface. Here lies a decisive reflection. Most people only look at charts once a crisis has already started, but the ultra-rich build systems of continuous monitoring. It's like having two types of pilots in a storm. The first only realizes the gravity when the plane is already plummeting. The second has instruments that warn him well before turbulence, allowing calm and controlled adjustments. The great truth is that anyone can learn to use these instruments, but few have the discipline to do so. Wealth is not born from guesses, but from the patient repetition of informed decisions. This is why the ultra-rich don't need to predict the future. They calculate it. They transform data into narratives, narratives into decisions, and decisions into fortunes. And the most fascinating part is that this process, which seems inaccessible, can start with something simple: the curiosity to understand how each number translates into a hidden story about the market. The question is, are you willing to take that step? Or would you rather remain in the dark, reacting only when it's too late? We've reached a conclusive point. If there is one secret that unites all great investors, it is the mastery of financial performance indicators. Whether we're talking about Wall Street magnates, European dynasties, or Asian sovereign wealth funds, they all share this ability to read signals that others ignore. They are not spectators of the market. They are active players who understand every move before the crowd even notices. And now you too know what the key is: learning to observe, interpret, and act on strategic indicators. This is the true dividing line between amateurs and masters. So from this moment forward, look at the market with new eyes. Every number that once seemed irrelevant might just be a secret code to anticipate massive capital movements. This is the language of the ultra-rich, and you have just received your first vocabulary in that language. If you want to continue expanding your vision and never again remain in the dark, subscribe here to Investor School and join a community that learns to play the game the way the top already do. After all, the financial future does not belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who prepare.